Oh my god, it's here, it's here. My Vors UFO essay is here. My nipple blender has arrived, and it is about to get a tit-bit nipply in here. Oh my god. So, the Vors UFO essay is basically the only sex toy I am aware of to have both Bluetooth control and B4 nipples. I have been trying to get one of these for a couple of years now. It came out in 2015, but it's only available in Japan. However, I got really, really lucky and found a seller out of Australia that sent me one. So now we're all going to get to crack open this box. I'm doing an unboxing on YouTube so we can all share in the joy that is the nipple blender together. Let's take a look inside. Okay, now it is time to see what's in the box. So, on the outside of the box is not a whole hell of a lot. There's not actually much information about the product, which really, at the price that this costs, and since it says the name on the front, if you bought it, you probably knew what you were getting in the first place. The only sticker on this on the outside actually is this plus 1D active dimension, which not real sure what that means. Most Vors products have 1 degree of rotational freedom, but I don't really know why anyone buying a sex toy would give a shit about that. So inside the box, we see our data disk. This contains Vors' movie player as well as some demo movies that they ship along with all of their toys. We'll be using this later to show how the Vors UFO synchronizes with movies. And now we're to the good stuff. So there it is, our nipple blender, and let's see what accessories it came with. So first off, it comes with instructions. Let's take a look at those. Okay, so we've got both English and Japanese instructions. I'll go through the English ones here because the Japanese are not going to do me a lot of good. So we've got our intro panel here, and then here's how you turn it on and charge it. How to use and maintenance, and this one's one of my favorites because it's got this little tongue here that it's dripping lube on, I guess. And I mean, how many things do you really get little tongues shipped with them? And everything should be shipped with little tongues. And be careful not to drop any lubricant around this shaded area, which is the area around the magnet, which I'll show you here in a second, because you don't want to gum up your magnet. How to connect with video files, which the Vors is, most Vors toys are made to synchronize with movies. I don't really know how many people's genitalia in movies rotates like Vors toys, but I guess there's a little bit of suspension of disbelief here. The basic pattern operations, because it comes with all sorts of patterns that you can just use without having to synchronize with movies. Some safety instructions on how not to break it by moving the cords around correctly. Some troubleshooting in case you have issues getting it set up. And really, I mean, can you imagine being that support person? Oops, my nipple blender broke. I just cannot imagine some of the stories that happen there. And then we've got our safety instructions, including do not excessively use it for more than 20 minutes in a row. Within 20 minutes is fine. 20 minutes is an okay amount of nipple blending. More than 20 minutes is too much nipple blending. And that's it. So let's look at what else is in the box. So I can't count how many times I've been using a sex robot and thought, I'd rather be listening to the Grammy Award-winning 1999 hit Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 off the multi-platinum album Supernatural. Luckily, thanks to Vors, now I can. With Vors Smooth Lotion. I would change my life to better suit this lube because Vors is so smooth. And now to the main event, the nipple blender. Okay, so this comes as 2 different pieces here. First off, we will start with the cups themselves. Get these out of here. So the UFO SA itself is the set of two sort of bendy cups and a controller right here. Now on the inside of the cups, you might be able to see if I tip it up here, there's these little rotating pads right here. These have magnets in them, and they can actually hold little units that have different sort of textures and stuff on them. I'll be showing those off here in a minute. Most Vors stuff uses magnets to keep things stable, and it's really a pretty interesting and well thought out design, and it works pretty well on most of their toys. I'll be showing this again on the Vors A10 Cyclone SA teardown that I'll be doing sometime soon. It uses magnets to keep its cups in also. So this is pretty much the whole thing. If I turn this on, which I believe I do that way, then you can see the LEDs there a little bit. And once I start, there we go. So there is our internet titty twister doing its thing. So obviously it's, wow, that's kind of loud. Okay, so obviously it's not going to be too much fun if there's just two hollow cups in there. So let's look at some of the extensions. So the UFO SA comes with 6 texture knobs. I don't really know what to call these things. I feel like I'm kind of sitting in front of some sort of Cronenberg fever dream of a sex toy here, which, believe me, makes me excited as hell. So let's just kind of go through and look at them, I guess. So they're all pretty, like they're mounted to these 2 backing magnets right here. Each of these has a magnet back that fits in those. I'll show that off in a sec. This one is sort of some sort of like kind of flowery deal. I guess if you got like big old nips, that's gonna work out for those. This is some sort of like forked tongue deal. There we go. Like, yeah, if you can kind of see right there you are. It's a little bit blurry, but I guess that's, I don't even know what the fuck that is. This one's got some kind of Cthulhu thing going on. I'll call this the Iophatagon texture right here. It's got like a whole bunch of little nubblies on it. And this one's also kind of jellyfishy. It's just the nubblies are slightly wider. And then we go to our disembodied tongues. So this is like totally someone doing that like tongue foley thing. And it'll just twirl around your nip. And finally, someone with a slightly longer and more pointed, like kind of got like a bear tongue or sort of a Gene Simmons maybe going on right there. Awesome. So let's load this shit up and see how it plays. Okay, so get our nipply cups right here. And what do we want to go with? Let's go with our Gene Simmons tongues. Okay, so shove it in right there. And yeah, this just like clips right in. Those magnets are really, really strong. Okay. So now, if I get this turned back on. And select pattern. There we go. Wow, that sounds really kind of angry. Okay, so that's what this thing looks like running. Let's go hook it up to the computer and see what MovieSync looks like. Okay, so now that we've seen what the UFOSA is, let's see how it works with the computer. For this first demo, I'll be connecting it using Bluetooth LE, which it has, with the Buttplug server, which is a piece of open source software I helped produce that connects to all sorts of different sex toys, including the UFOSA, and allows you to write your own code for them. You can get that at buttplug.io. And with that, we'll be using this web app called Buttplug Playground. It allows you to manually control all the different toys that work with Buttplug. So we'll connect to the server. We'll turn on our UFOSA, and that white light should turn blue once I hit start scanning. And there it goes, and we see it show up in the dialog there. So we can choose it, and now we can actually start controlling the direction and speed of the UFOSA. It has about 20 different speeds, I think. So I can make it change direction here, and yeah, so general idea of how it works there and what kind of capacity you have to move it at different speeds. Now, Bluetooth LE isn't your only option if you want to connect to the VORs through your PC. All VORs toys come with these little USB keys that convert Bluetooth LE into a serial port, basically. So this will work with anything from Windows XP possibly through Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. And they don't actually produce software for Linux or Mac for it, but we will be supporting it in Buttplug for all platforms that support USB. So what we do with that is we just plug it in right here. It turns blue, and we'll need to turn this off and back on again to reset it. But once I turn it on, it should connect automatically. So now it's connected to the computer and is registered as a COM port. And that will be useful for when we use VORS Player. VORS Player comes with the VORS and is its native video player. So all of these ship with DVDs with movies on them. And that's something I was really wondering about because this is a nipple-based toy, and I'm not super familiar with the world of nipple-centric porn. And it does actually exist. I now have a full DVD of it. So we can take a look at that. So first off, we'll have to load the haptics files. This is what has all the commands in it. And VORS releases this as a CSV file. That's why it's showing up as Excel. And they actually have instructions on how to encode their videos using Excel. So they are completely open about how you can make your own videos with this, which is pretty cool. And let's start with this first video here. Now, she's just going to stand there for about the next minute, so I'm not going to make you watch that.
私が見てた乳首いじってあげるね。ちゃんと自分でしごいてないとダメよ。
So yeah, that's what Movie Sync looks like. I mean, in this movie, this is literally someone just feeling on your nipples. But there are definitely movies with other actions in them available. Okay, so here's another video, which I'm definitely going to have to censor due to this being on YouTube. But the interesting part about this is everyone has nipples. So this portrays, or the videos on the disc portray both men and women having their nipples manipulated, and the toy just goes right along with it. So you get like a span of different kinds of porn with the disc.
綺麗でしょ綺麗じゃあ見たいいいのねもうかわいいほら洗ってた立ってるほらいいねほらほら
Okay, so that pretty much does it for how this thing works with the PC. You can see that you can control it manually, and currently we also have movie control for it. As we get more implementation done on Buttplug, hopefully this will work with video games and everything else. So kind of the sky is the limit once you get this thing hooked up. Now let's give it a test run. Okay, so we've unboxed UFOSA, we've seen how it worked for the PC, now let's give this thing a test run. Now I realize not everyone's going to want to see QDOT's dig ol' bitties, and for those of you that do, they're the upper levels of my Patreon, so feel free to head over there and donate. And also, I'm not real sure what I can get away with here on YouTube, so we're going to do this under the shirt. So, let's go ahead and get things together. We've got the UFOSA here, hooked up with the little tiny jellyfish textures, and we've got our smooth lotion. So get these all lubed up here, and of course get a little on the chest, and you could probably hear on the microphone the smooth lotion doing its work there a little bit. So okay. Ooh, it's kind of cold. Suction cuppy. It's supposed to stick there. And, oh. Okay. Well, there we go. Now then, I guess, why won't it stay? Okay, we're all hooked up. Let's give it a spin. Ah! Okay, pro tip for using the UFOSA. First off, use a lot of lube. And secondly, shave your goddamn nipples before you use it. It's a neat toy, don't get me wrong. It's a really interesting feeling, and it's really well made, very quality. I still enjoy it, and I definitely endorse the UFOSA, and we'll be having future episodes on it, on how to use it with your own movies and video games. But for now, I'm going to go shave what's left of my nipple hair. So if you like this video, please, God, like and subscribe, because I just put some actual pain into this. And until next time, keep on butt plugging.
A boo better man. Make you drink a boo better man. Make you drink a boo better
すごいんだよ。だからつけてあげる。いいでしょ？
I got cups on my ears.